All right. Welcome to Signal Based Marketing Summit. Today we're going to talk about signal based prospecting. How can you generate revenue using all the signals that your go to market teams are collecting? The signals could be whether it's on the person level, whether it's a company level, doesn't matter. Are you able to generate the revenue using all the signals? That's what we're going to talk about in this summit. Cool. Before we go into it, let me give you a quick overview about myself. Let me give you a quick introduction. Myself, Venki, I'm the CTO and co-founder of Oneshot AI. What we do, we build AI agents for sales and marketing teams. Prior to this, I worked at Salesforce and built a bunch of CRM products for more than a decade. And I filed a bunch of patents in this space. Cool. I write a lot about generative AI, B2B sales, B2B marketing in LinkedIn. Connect me in LinkedIn, scan this QR code, and start seeing my content. By the way, I also am this LinkedIn Top Sales Prospecting Voice badge from the community. So I'm pretty sure you're going to get the good content from my postings. Cool. Now that you know about myself, my quick background, and what the signal-based prospecting about, we'll go into the deeper of what are these signals and how can you prospect? How can you leverage that, right? So first thing first, let's just level set on the signals and the intents. How many of you guys heard about signals and intents, right? Signals, most of the times people think that these are the direct intents. Actually not really equally true. Let me tell you. So signals are more about the events or actions that are being performed by your buyers, which can be give as hints, which can be used as a hints to determine their buyer intention, right? Whether they are intended to buy your product, your service, or some other product in your category, it doesn't matter. Using these signals, can you reason out? Can you use that as kind of hints to determine the buyer intent? It's as simple as that, right? So what are these signals? What are these events? What are these actions, right? So I classified them into the 5 categories. One is the engagement signals. It could be like the people who visited your website, or it could be the people who are engaging for your emails, opening it, replying it, or maybe engaging in the social post. These are like all engagement signals. The second thing is intent signals. The intent signals are like who came to your website and then basically they are requesting a demo. They are like a real interested to understand your service statements, right? Or asking for pricing. Or product usage signals. If a product offers any free trials, so they can download, they can start using it, and they will produce some actions like they use certain features, they started referring their colleagues. That gives a kind of a signal for you to determine, okay, it's a good buying intent, right? They're interesting, they're liking it. Now, organization signals. It could be somebody is hiring a new exec person, or maybe expanding into new territory, new business can use that. A director contacting your sales team, whether it's a live chat or maybe doing engaging in the call. Doesn't matter. So all these levels of signals that you can leverage to convert them into a real revenue, right? So if you go much further zoom into these signals categories, so I'm basically giving you more expanded version of these engagement signals like website visits, email opens, social follows, content downloads, you name it. Right, product usage, for example, they are using certain feature, they started referring their colleagues and they started basically repeating logins. Let's say they're basically supporting chat with your product service, whatever it is. So there are so many signals out there, like dozens of, if not hundreds. And these signals can be at individual level or it could be at the company level. How can you use all of this? And which of them are very interesting for your product or service? Basically, you can just highlight it out, map those 10, 20 signals that you're potentially interested about, and start monitoring that, collecting that, right? Cool. So now this all, by the way, one more thing I want to tell you, on all these signals, some could derive higher buyer intent signal, some could derive lower buyer intent signal. It depends on the type of signal. Like for example, a pricing inquiry or booking a demo is a higher intent. Or for example, I just checking out your website, maybe basically liking your post in LinkedIn. It not be immediate, like it's not like higher buyer intent, but they are kind of interested about your stuff pretty much, right? So you can sense it out, the urgency of the buyer intent, level of buyer intent using different kind of signals. Okay, so cool. So now let's get into the next thing. These signals, the intensity of those signals can determine which are high, which are low, but it doesn't matter if you have not done any action on those signals. And these actions is very, very important. And if you don't action it properly, you might basically miss the opportunity, because hitting somebody at the right time with the right message is gonna highly likely gonna convert into your business, right? So it will help you to clear focus for your sales team, for marketing teams, to focus more on the warm leads and less of the cold leads, right? And it gives you focus, and it basically converts higher, and you don't miss the time because you're hitting at the right time. So actioning is very, very, very important. Don't leave that on the table. Perfect. Cool. So how do you do action? That is where Oneshot AI can help you. In three simple steps, you can basically action. One, import all your potential leads, potential prospects into Oneshot. We support a lot of integrations of all the sales engine platform. And while importing, you can map all the signals that you have captured on those people, which we're going to use it for our research and messaging. The second thing is the research and messaging. Now that you have brought the people to Oneshot platform, now you're going to generate the messages using the research that we are doing on the person, on the company, from the public sources, whether it's their LinkedIn, whether it's a company website, whether it's a Google News. We use all of that with your signals and then generate the messages optimized for emails, multi-channel, whether it's email, whether it's LinkedIn messages, whether it's a call script. We'll generate the content for all these different channels. The last thing is, once we generate it, we have to send them out, automate it out, right? We export these messages back to your sales engine platform. Let's say if you brought the people from HubSpot, we're going to write back to HubSpot. Brought it back from Apollo, we're going to write it back to Apollo. So all these messages are now written into your engagement platform, so that all the messages, sequences that you can basically schedule it, right? Three simple steps: import, research, and message, and then send out, export by exporting these messages back to your platform. All right, cool. So how do you do connect? So basically, we support all these integrations. You can do this OAuth integration. We support all these four. Basically, just enable it, and then it will ask you to connect your platform, whatever the platform that you use. And once you connect, these are all the lists of people that we have captured in our HubSpot CRM. So in this case, let's say, for example, we have this post-hog messages greater than 5. Post-hog is basically a product analytics tool. And we brought all these people that's there in our post-hog usage data, brought back to HubSpot, and we know the context. Oh, Venki has downloaded the extension or Chrome extension on so-and-so date, and they have been generating messages. Now, this context is very, very helpful so that I can create a tailored message for Venki, right? Like that. You may have like 6 intent leads. You may have website visitors. Doesn't matter. You can create so many lists in your HubSpot CRM and then bring those lists of people into Oneshot, right? And while you are bringing the people, you have the option to map those signals, custom fields. So you may have created custom fields in your HubSpot to track the pages that they visited, to track the features that they have tried, to track what's the 6 cents Bambora intent, right? So all those in these custom fields, you can map into Oneshot custom fields like this. And then while we are reading the context from your CRM, from your engagement platform, we also read this contextual data to Oneshot, which we're going to use that into the next step, right? So for so clear, basically bring the people by connecting your engagement platform and do the field map. And the second thing is, I'm going to create this message using all these signals. Now you can see I wrote the prompt. This is the Oneshot prompt out of the box, basically saying, I'm asking AI, I behave like you are working from Oneshot, and you're sending an email to Roxy. And this is the signals that I captured about Roxy, the pages that she visited, and then the 6 intent topics, and then the product features that they tried from a free trial. all this data, plus I'm also feeding with the internet research data about Roxy and their company. All of this data, I'm able to produce a hyper-personalized email. Look at this PS line. It is saying, oh, notice you checked out our AI-powered content creation features. So this is powering from this signal data. And look at this, congrats on the new facility thing. This is coming from our research. And this is basically tailored to the Roxy's job title from the product and services. So this prompt is now taking three major important information. One, your person's contextual signals, and then one-shot research content that it is producing. And the third thing is your product and your services. Using all of this, we're going to create this tailored message for your prospect based on the job title, based on the seniority, and we're going to make it more relevant plus personalized using all the context that we powered up, right? If you want to zoom further, what does this AI research look like? And this is what this AI research, right? And the AI research is saying you can basically go to their website. I can show you in a sec here. So let's say this is the email prompt, and then I'm saying this is a research. This research is saying go to their website, and go to their LinkedIn and get the company description data, and then get this Google News and summarize everything and write this a deeper research. Look at this, the key challenges that they're going through. Look at the how one shot can basically help them, or like provide concrete examples how it can help. So this is a research is powered by our AI models, and this is being fed into this email prompt. And now you can see as a human, when you're trying to generate a personalized email, you're gonna go to their website, you're gonna go to their LinkedIn, you're gonna go to their Google set, capture all the data and feed and then you're summarizing into how to write it an email. So it's just like how a human does. We built this AI agents, which does this for you at the scale, right? Now that is being fed into the AI in this prompt and then along with this contextual data. So this is what it produced. So like this, you can generate for email, follow-up email, whether it's a landing page, whether it's a LinkedIn message, whether it's a call script. You can write out prompts on all these different use cases. Whether it's a call script, LinkedIn messages, intro line, whether it's a research that you want to do, everything powered by all the contextual data from your signals, plus as well as other research, right? So once this is produced, the next thing is, how can I send out all these messages? How can I generate all these messages on multiple people? Now this is where the scale will come into picture. So a one shot can basically generate these messages at scale across hundreds of thousands of prospects using all this contextual data and talking to LLMs, talking to all these custom models, and basically creating those messages, whether it's a email message, whether it's a follow-up message, doesn't matter. So now this all is produced. The next thing is you wanted to send these messages out. How can you do it? You need to bring it back to your engagement platform. And that is where our export, the step 3 is basically the export. And what is the export is doing? The export is saying, hey, cool. Now that you brought your first name and last name email to one shot, now you're going to write it back to these messages. Now look at these are the 3 prompts that we have created. One is this email 1, email 2, email 3, follow-up email. All these 3 emails that we have created into one shot using all this research is written back to these HubSpot custom fields. These are the HubSpot custom fields that you may have created for us. And we'll write it back to those custom fields. Now, all these hundreds of prospects, we got the data, we generate the messages, we write it back to with the messages into your HubSpot. Now, using this HubSpot custom fields, the data that we have written, now you can put them into the sequence, HubSpot sequence, whether it's an Apollo sequence, whether it's an outreach sequence. And you can mention these custom fields into those sequences, and those messages will go out. Now you started seeing the power. Now you start connecting the dots. So there are lots of signals out there. Lots of signals out there. All the signals is now sitting in your CRM in the form of custom fields. You're bringing that to one shot. And using that context, we have written these powerful prompts to curate that research and then the signals and generate these messages. And then eventually write it back to your platform. And then eventually write it back to your platform with this custom field mapping. That's it, right? So last but not least, make sure you action on the signals that you have captured for your buyers. And how do you do that? You have one shot to do that. And this is our Chrome extension. Please feel free to download it, and it's free. And you can give it a try with our messaging. And we can work with you more closely and then write the prompts for you with all the signals that you may be interested in having it, and then create a detailed, personalized prompts for your business so that you can leverage all the signals in a more effective manner. And all this will lead to revenue. Okay. I wish you best wishes. May all the signals lead to a higher generation, higher conversions, and higher revenue for your business and your product or service. All right. I wish you all the best. Thank you so much for listening to my talk. I appreciate you. Please feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Thank you.